Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben Haddon, this is Ben Haddon Golf, and today we have another practice routine video. The last one we did was a 1-hour practice routine. This one is going to be a 3-hour practice routine. Hopefully, if you're having some troubles in your game, if you feel like you're plateauing, if you're practicing a lot but you're not improving, this is a good 3-hour practice routine with a couple tips to help you maximize that practice time. The biggest difference between the 1-hour practice routine and the 3-hour practice routine is that a 1-hour practice routine you can kind of just power through. You don't need to take breaks. The difference with a 3-hour practice routine is really nobody's brain is created to be able to focus with full concentration and intensity for 3 hours straight. So into this 3-hour practice routine, we have worked in 5-minute breaks, and we're going to talk a little bit about why those are important. But first, we're going to start with the first 25-minute session of 6 in this 3-hour practice routine. In our first 25-minute session, we're going to spend 5 minutes getting warmed up, maybe loosening up the shoulders, maybe loosen up the back a little bit, put the club behind your back, do some rotations like this. You're not going to get full rotation right off the bat if you're not actually warmed up. Speaking of alignment sticks, this video is brought to you by Tour Aim Golf, so thank you to them for sponsoring this video. And if you want to get one of these Tour Aims, we're going to be talking about it plenty throughout the course of this video. It's a great training aid. I use it all the time. Hold your alignment stick solid, makes it easy to change targets on the range. Overall, just cuts down on a lot of your setup time for a lot of these drills that we're going to be doing today. So if you want to grab one of those, link will be down in the description. And thank you again to Tour Aim for sponsoring today's video. So once you've spent about 5 minutes getting the body warmed up, we're going to take a wedge and we're going to start working on 70 to 30 yards. I know you've probably heard that when you're practicing, you need to switch up your targets, switch up the yardage that you're hitting, the flight that you're hitting, all this stuff about randomizing your practice. I'm here to tell you that maybe it's not as valuable as you might think to do something like that. The reason that people want you to switch your target and switch the shot that you're hitting is to get you to refocus every time you go to hit a golf shot. You can do that without actually changing the target, and you'll be able to dial in one stock shot. In my opinion, it's way more valuable to have one stock shot that you can work off of than to feel like you have a feel for 100 different shots. So what we're going to start with here, something I've worked with Scott Fawcett on, creator of Decade. He's helped me a lot with all, I mean, you can pretty much assume that 90% of the stuff in this video came from him. So check out Decade, it's a free plug, I guess, but I feel like I kind of owe that to him. First thing we're gonna do here is wedge shots where we feel no hand or wrist break. So I'm gonna start my first 10 minutes or so hitting these dead-handed, no hand, no wrist, body only golf shots. So I've shot a target out there I know is 75 yards. We're a little bit downwind on this range, so I know that my dead-handed shot should land pretty close to that 75-yard target. Now, the one thing I want you to be thinking about here is the reason that we're able to hit the same shot over and over again is because we're going through a 4-step process that ensures that every time we hit a golf shot, we're getting the most out of it. There's no such thing as muscle memory, okay? Your brain remembers everything. So when you hit a golf shot, if you hit a shot that you liked, that last shot there, I basically hit the target that I was aiming at. I'm going to take a second after my shot to replay what that shot felt like in my head, what it felt like to my body. This 4-step process being see the shot you want to hit and feel the swing that's required to get there. Step 2 is going to be hit the shot. Step 3 is observe the shot and say in your head whether the result was good or bad. And then step 4 is going to be remember what that shot felt like. Connect that result to the shot, and those neural pathways in your brain will start to strengthen where when you hit a good shot, you think, good, this is what that felt like, and then try to recreate that over and over again. You're grooving a stock shot that you can then take to the course and work off of. So for here, we're grooving that 67-yard shot. Ideally, at the end of 10 or 15 minutes, I have a really solid idea of what that 70-yard shot feels like. And then I'll move to a different target a little bit closer, do that for 5 minutes, different target a little bit closer, and work on that for 5 minutes. And that'll be our first 25-minute session. And again, every time I hit a shot that I like, I'm replaying that feeling in my head, connecting it with that was a good shot, and then moving on to the next one, trying to recreate that, trying to string shots together to really forge those neural pathways and connect a certain shot to a certain feeling that I have. Right there, I hit that one a little too far. I'm feeling, okay, that was too much. What's the feeling I actually need to have? And then I'll move on to the next shot. And when I get one right, again, just trying to string those together, build some momentum going forward in this practice session. So since I've done that for 5 minutes, I'm gonna pick another yardage, this one about 40 yards. Another nice thing about this Tour Aim, when I wanna change targets, that's all I gotta do right there. And I now have 3 alignment sticks aimed exactly where I wanna go. Really speeds up my practice time, cuts down on setup, just makes things a lot more frictionless. Kind of one of those parts of the game. I know everybody loves the GC Quad and the TrackMan for the fancy numbers like ball speed and driver club head speed and all that stuff. This is the kind of stuff I love having a launch monitor for because it gives me that immediate feedback of what was the feeling I had, what was the shot's distance. That's a fantastic way to work on your wedges, so I highly recommend that. Once we've worked through that little wedge workout, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. And I know there's gonna be a lot of you guys out there who are like, I don't need a break, I can just move on to the next thing. Trust me, if you are going through that 4-step process of see the shot, hit the shot, analyze the shot, reflect and move on, if you go through that on every single golf shot for 25 minutes, you're gonna be tired mentally. And if you're plateauing in your golf game, I guarantee you that's a big reason why. Take a minute, just promise me you aren't gonna just get on your phone for 5 minutes. We're trying to get your brain to slow down, to relax, so you can then refocus on what it is that you're doing. Scrolling Instagram is not a brain break, not even in the slightest. Really, the best thing you can do is almost meditate. Like, try to clear all thoughts out of your brain entirely and give your brain like a full break before you get back into what it is that you're doing next. Because this is a YouTube video and we're not gonna make this video 3 hours, I am not going to be hitting every single golf shot in this 3-hour practice routine. I'm just gonna take you through what the routine looks like. So, the second of the 6 25-minute blocks is going to be working on irons. And the way that we do that, same thing with the tour aim, and we're gonna use 4 different clubs. Look at what the date is. Today is Friday the 3rd. It's an odd numbered day. So what we're gonna do is grab our 9-iron, our 7-iron, and our 5-iron. And I would also grab my 2-iron, my utility club, but I left it at Bubby's house, so I don't have it right now. But for sake of demonstration, you should have 4 irons per day that you're practicing with. And ideally, if you're practicing every day, then those days get split in half, so you work on each club equally. But the main thing here that we're gonna be focusing on, we're gonna be hitting the same exact ball flight every time. We're trying to groove one shot, become the best in the world at that shot. Generally, the only time that you need to be able to work the ball both ways is if you're trying to get out of trouble. And I can promise you that if you're trying to work the ball both ways, you're gonna wind up in trouble a whole lot more. So just work on one golf shot. If you absolutely need it, the ability to actually hit the same golf shot over and over again will lend itself to small adjustments in your setup to make the ball flights that you need. But for the most part, nailing down one setup, ball flight, height, everything for each club in your bag is gonna go a long way. So now we're gonna lock in. I got a 9-iron in hand here. I'm going into course vlog mode, I guess. And we are going to hit the same shot over and over again for 6 minutes. And then we're gonna switch to the next club, and then the next club, and then the next club. 6 minutes per club, just trying to groove one ball flight with each one of those 4 irons that we're hitting on any given day. We've hit our 9 irons here. We're gonna move on to the 7s. Since we're switching clubs, able to switch those targets pretty easily with the tour aim here. So we've hit our 7s, moving on to the 5s, change our target again. And one of the biggest things about this 4-step process that we've been talking about is just really nailing down every single time you hit a shot. Was that good? Was that bad? And if it was good, how can I string this together? And when you string a number of these good swings together, like, the human brain is incredible. If you tell it good, do that again, you will do it again. But if you just hit balls, hit rake, hit rake, hit rake, don't think about it, you're not gonna get as much out of it as if you take the extra 5 seconds, feel that shot again after every time you hit a good one. So hold your follow through for at least for a second and feel that shot again if it's a good one. So ideally here, you've worked through your 4 irons for the day, 6 minutes each. Now it's time for another 5-minute break, okay? And again, 5-minute break, very important. Just allow yourself to not think about anything for a minute. And I know it sounds very simple, but not thinking about anything is actually incredibly complicated and difficult. It's endlessly complicated, but also incredibly simple. So I'd recommend adding into your practice routine, I guess, into your practice of becoming better at golf, some form of meditation, mindfulness, awareness. Any kind of work like that is going to go a long way in making yourself a better mental golfer. And as we all know, the sport is very much mental. So take some time to look after your brain, figure out how to drop everything, take a step back and reset. Now, after your 5-minute break, and you're taking a 5-minute break, right? This last 25 minutes is gonna be focused on tee shots. So if you've been hitting that utility club, that 2-iron, that 5-wood, whatever it is, off the ground, hit a couple off a tee, get a feel for that. But here's where I'm gonna throw a wrench into things, okay? Because there are, on occasion, some tee shots that require a shot shape that is not your stock shot shape. I'd say 98% of tee shots you're gonna hit do not require a shot shape that isn't your stock shot shape. Said shot shape a lot in the last minute or so. That's why we're gonna take about 5 minutes here during this 25-minute session to work on, for me, it'd be a draw with the 3-wood, okay? I know a lot of you guys are probably laughing right now because I'm saying again that I'm a fader of the golf ball, despite all the evidence that you've seen on this channel over the last few months that I'm not. When I was playing professional golf, when I was shooting good scores, I was a fader, and I'm trying to get back to that. I'm working on it. Kind of been neglecting my game for the YouTube grind lately, but making this practice routine, in addition to being a message to you guys on how to practice better, is also kind of a reminder for me. So we're gonna be grinding a fade with everything, but with the 3-wood, we're gonna be hitting a few draws. I got 3-wood, 5 minutes fades, 5 minutes draws, and then about 12 to 15 minutes on driver. So we hit a few fades, we're gonna work into draws now, and I know you might be wondering, Ben, if you're just trying to groove one swing, why are you trying to hit draws? Okay, well, we're not hitting a different swing with the draw, we're just changing our ball position. We're moving it back a little bit, we're allowing our path to come inside of the club face. So essentially, when I move the ball a little bit back in my stance, my path is then coming more from the inside than if it's farther forward in my stance. It should make it a little easier for me to get this ball to turn over. Now we're gonna move on to the big stick driver. Once again, still going through the 4-step process, but this time no draws. Like I said, I've probably said this a few times already, but I really wanna hammer it home. Ideally, you're hitting your driver quite a bit. If you're somebody who practices your driver enough, if you can put your driver into a 65-yard window, on most golf courses, you're gonna be hitting driver just about every time. That's why we practice driver for 12, 15 minutes straight in this practice routine, to make sure that we are confident with our driver. A good friend of mine, Sean Walsh, probably remember him from absolutely kicking Bubby and I's butt, but he gave me 2 good pieces of advice. If you wanna be a good golfer, you gotta love hitting your driver and be a good putter. If you can do those 2 things, you're gonna be just fine. Another thing you really need to pay attention to when you're hitting these drivers, and really any club, is your ball position. And that's especially true with driver. Like we talked about with 3-wood, if you want to go from a fade to a draw, it's about this far of a difference in ball position. If you make this far of a difference in ball position on accident with your driver, you could be seeing a very massive difference between a good shot and a bad shot on the same golf swing. Keith Mitchell, one of the best drivers of the golf ball in the world, never changes his ball position, never changes anything about his driver swing. So I trust him. So we got a tee down for ball position, where the tee's at, and I want the ball to be just inside of my left heel. So I'm gonna put a couple of tees down where my toes are at, flaring my feet just a little bit, and every driver I hit, I want my feet to be right here. Feet, ball, everything exactly the same as this right here. That's pretty much exactly the ball flight I want to hit every time. So if I feel that golf swing right there, again, took a second to really feel in my body what that golf swing felt like, and then reapply that over and over again, start stringing those together. That's how you groove your golf swing. That's how you become a more consistent golfer right there. It's really all there is to it. Just groove a stock shot and then work off of that on the golf course, and you're gonna be in a really good shape in pretty much every golf tournament you play. I'm gonna hit a couple more drivers here just because I'm enjoying it. Uh-oh.
Sorry, my name is Ryan. I'm just a big fan.
No,
You're my favorite good athlete.
It's good to meet you, Ryan.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, Ben, right? Ben?
Yeah, Ben.
Big fan.
Well,
Just wanted to come say hi.
But you knew that, right?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Because I'm your favorite good athlete.
Yeah.
So, but you asked me what my name was.
No, I was just confirming that was your name.
That's correct, yeah. See you, Ryder. And the tour aim, so easy to break down. I mean, just look at that right there. Takes no time at all. Link in the description. Another really nice thing about the tour aim is just how portable it is. So when you take the sticks out of it, it fits right in your golf bag, like any golf bag. I have a couple golf bags that hold nothing. This fits in there easy. Just slide it on in, zip it up. Super lightweight, don't even really have to think about it. Even when I'm carrying at golf tournaments, I keep that in my bag. That's how much I value it. It's beneficial to have around 4 alignment sticks in your bag. So if you get the package that has 4 alignment sticks, they fit into the tour aim, guaranteed. And it also comes with this handy alignment stick cover, just so those 4 sticks aren't rattling around your bag being annoying. Okay, so we've made it to the putting green. We got 2 25-minute sessions with a 5-minute break in between. We got 1 drill to get our stroke dialed in, and then 2 speed drills followed up by a putting combine. We're gonna run through that right now. So our first drill is going to be something to dial in our stroke, and for this we're gonna use the tour aim. Tour aim actually has this nice little cutout right in the middle. If you were looking at it earlier and you're confused, what's that cutout in the middle? It's meant for this, okay? So you can set this up on a putting green. I got 3 alignment sticks in here right now. 1 above the ball, 2 on the ground, parallel to each other, kind of acting like a gate, like some bumpers to run through, if you will. So essentially, we're just gonna be hitting balls through this little notch in the tour aim. We're gonna get some alignment aids, obviously. This is tour aim, it's an alignment aid. Alignment to make sure that our feet, hips, and shoulders are squared up, and our eyes are directly over the ball. All very important things in making sure that we have a repeatable, consistent putting stroke. I wanna see my putter go inside of this alignment stick on both my backstroke and my through stroke, just to make sure I have a solid arc. And after I do this for about 10 minutes, hopefully hit right around 20, maybe 30 putts, we're gonna move on to a different little speed drill, and we'll head to that right now. For this drill, we need a straight putt, not necessarily flat as far as like uphill, downhill. When we're facing one direction, we know it's gonna be straight. We're okay with a little bit of uphill, downhill, because in this drill, we're gonna be turning around a couple times. Essentially what we need is 9 tees. The first 3 tees are gonna be roughly 9 inches apart. And I know pretty much on my shoe where 9 inches is. So we got these 3 tees 9 inches apart. And then from here, we're gonna take 5 feet, all in a straight line ideally. Tee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tee, 4, 5 tee, and then another 5 feet, 5, and then the same thing we did on that side. So 9 inches apart, 3 different tees. So this drill ideally should be 20 successful putts. So this shouldn't take you any more than 15 minutes. All of these putts from 5 to 10 feet, we're trying to get within these first 2 tees right here. Everything from 10 to 15, we're trying to get between the first and third tee. But after we hit one successfully this way, we're gonna turn around from the same position and go that way. When we go that way, obviously, we try to land it between the first and the third tee. Just trying to control our distance here. That was too hard. We're just essentially working our way down. 5 to 10 feet, we're trying to get it between the first and second tee. From 10 to 15, we're trying to get it within the first and third tee, moving down, so we're hitting both uphill and downhill putts from anywhere from 5 to 15 feet. It's a pretty efficient drill. It's a good way to get your speed dialed in, especially if you're in a new golf course. Now, we're gonna work on lag putts a little bit now. We're gonna change this drill up just a little bit after our 5-minute break. Okay, so we got one more drill here. This is gonna be speed. Very similar vibe, very similar setup to the last drill. It's just gonna be set up for longer putts. So we're gonna be working on from 15 to 30 feet. Earlier we were working on 5 to 15, now we're going 15 to 30. 4 tees in a row here, each one 1 foot apart. And then we're gonna take some paces down here. And we're gonna put tees in the ground at 15, 20, 25, and 30 feet. Okay, so for every foot, we're gonna hit 1 putt. So we got balls set up every foot. If a ball lands within the designated area, we're good. Just keep moving back. For 15 to 20 feet, we're trying to get between the first and the third tee. Yeah, 5 in a row. So we're just trying to get him to stop within that right window. From 20 to 30 feet, we're trying to get it to stop between the first and the fourth tee. I'll demonstrate that a couple times, but you guys should get the gist of how this drill works. Very, very simple drill. Again, I got this from Decade. I guess I'm technically giving them a free plug, but I'm not, because I'm using like a lot of the stuff that Scott taught me. But yeah, we're just gonna work back through here all the way to 30 feet. Ideally, if you got good speed control, you shouldn't have much issue with all these. Still trying to go through those 4 steps on every putt here. Feel it, see how far it went, try to connect that feeling to that result, and just work our way back. We're gonna be doing a putting combine. Essentially just how that works. I know I said don't get on your phone, but this is different. We're gonna go to decade.com. I got the thing bookmarked actually. Go to combines and start putting combine. It's just basically simulating a round of putting, okay? So we just need 1 golf ball for this. They give you 18 random lengths of putt that generally cover just about every putt that you would have in like a average round of golf. What we're gonna do is run through that simulation and just kind of get a score, kind of compete against ourselves, get a little score of how many strokes gained or lost is our putting giving us during this putting simulation round. So we're gonna run through that real quick. First putt is 16 feet. I think I might have nailed it here actually. Wow, I did. Man, that's crazy. And what I did there was measure how far past the ball went after the putt didn't go in. Just so we can keep track of how our speed ratio looks. There's a bug right here. This putt's gonna be so fast. But you gotta give yourself a couple like these, a couple really difficult ones. I feel like that's important to sprinkle into a putting combine because you're not always gonna have uphill right to lefters. Sometimes you're gonna have ticklish ones like this. When you 3-putt, that's when you really start to lose strokes, and that's kind of something these putting combines will open your eyes to. All right, and that'll do it for the putting combine. Now it is time for another 5-minute break, which I really hope you're not skipping. I really hope you're not skipping the 5-minute breaks. And then we're gonna do some drills in the chipping green. We've made it over to the chipping green, and here's where we're gonna be hitting our chips from. This drill is going to be essentially just nailing down landing points. So we wanna hit chips and know exactly where they're gonna land. 95% of shots you're gonna be able to hit with the chips that we're about to hit here. So we're gonna sit here, groove these shots, go through our 4 steps on every attempt, and just try to dial in some yardages from 5 to 15 yards. And what we've got to do that is alignment sticks. I have this like thing that I used to film my golf shots. I have a couple of head covers just to mark these points, okay? So we're gonna step off from right here where the balls are gonna be. We've got the Paradigm head cover at 5 yards, Chiefs head cover at 7, and then the alignment sticks at 9, 11, 13, and 15. And then for fun, I put the golf pod in the ground at 17 yards. For these golf shots, I'm just essentially trying to hit the head covers, hit the alignment stick, whatever yards I'm trying to fly, I'm trying to hit that object on the fly, like trying to land it there. I'm gonna hit 3 in a row to each object, try to dial in that yardage again. Like, I'm not afraid of repetition, I'm not afraid of hitting the same shot over and over again, because I know I'm dialing in a feel for that specific yardage. Think, trying to store stuff like that away so we can do it again. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I'm kind of nailing these right now.
Yeah, that one looked perfect.
These are real close. That's close to the best I've done this drill, actually. I feel really good about that. We're really just trying to nail our flying yardages. And the reason for this is because I think way too much stock these days gets put into the crazy shot, the fill flops, the tie spinner, all the really interesting and fun golf shots. Unfortunately, you're not seeing the majority of short game shots when you turn on SportsCenter or PGA Tour highlights. You're seeing the most insane, short-sighted, incredible hero shots. You're not seeing the 99% of short game shots, which are just fly at 5 yards, let it roll out 10. Fly at 15 yards, let it roll out 10, or whatever trajectory you need to get to roll out the correct amount. Most short game shots are not special. Mastering this will save you so many more shots than being able to hit like a crazy, that looks cool, I guess, but it's not gonna save you as many shots as being able to hit the right shot every time. You're way better off when you're in that position, just taking your medicine, hitting a decent shot, trying to make a putt, and every other time that you have a quote unquote easy chip shot, executing on that. And this is how you do that, by dialing in those carry numbers. So once we've worked through that drill, do that for about 15 minutes, we're gonna end our 3-hour practice routine with bunker shots. And the thing I think a lot of you guys might not be doing when you're hitting bunker shots is experimenting with different clubs. One thing I try to do just about every time I hit bunker shots is, of course, I hit some with my lob wedge, with my sand wedge. I'm also hitting some with my pitching wedge and my gap wedge, because there are longer bunker shots, like 30, 40 yard bunker shots, where it is, unfortunately, there's no easy way to put this, those are near impossible golf shots. And if you're trying to hit, you know, a 58 degree, 45 yards out of a bunker, you're gonna have a hard time. Being able to hit a pitching wedge and hit it like a normal bunker shot and have it just fly a little bit farther is a much easier technique. So we're gonna work on that over there for about 10 minutes and then get on out of here. Or go play 9 holes, whatever you want to do. So another thing we're gonna be doing here that I think might be a little abnormal is just trying to hit the same shot over and over again. If we can be repeatable out of bunkers, if we can be predictable out of bunkers, we're gonna be deadly out of bunkers, okay? So with each club, I got my 58, over there I have my 54, my 50, and my pitching wedge. I'm gonna hit roughly 5-ish shots with each one, try to hit the same shot every time, and then get out of here. And of course, watch the shots, see where they go, learn from them, all that good stuff.
No way. That collided with 2 balls on the way and then went in the hole.
We'll throw that on Instagram.
That was crazy.
All right, now I'm gonna actually make this one, just
Okay.
for real.
Ooh, it's like a foot away on the left. It went right up to it and then just...
God, I suck. Ugh. Now I'll move on to the 54 degree. Move on to the 50. Pitching wedge. So those long bunker shots are not meant to be easy. They're meant to be hard. The reality is if you spend 5 minutes a day working on them, I know like this is a 3-hour practice routine, but if you notice, we didn't have any segments to that practice routine that were longer than 15 minutes. A lot of different stuff we're working on here, trying to really spend a lot of time working on very specific things for a short block. Get your brain accustomed to doing one thing really well in every aspect of the game. You can copy paste all around most golf courses in the world. I really think it comes down to being good at one thing and doing that thing really, really well in all aspects of the game. So that's what this practice routine was based around. Again, thank you to the 2Rain for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to get yourself one, we got a link in the description for that. Helps out the channel a lot. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you made it to this point in the video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd highly recommend you do. It appears that you like the videos we're putting out, and we're going to continue putting out practice videos just like this. So if you would like to comment below what kind of instructional videos you'd like to see in the future, what kind of practice videos you'd like to see, that would also be very helpful. Throw a like on this video, not just for the algorithm, not just to help me out, but because if you like this video and you want to have this practice routine in your back pocket, liking the video will store it somewhere where you can always go back and watch it again. So with all that said, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.